It's named after Nick Christmalis, and he had a soda fountain candy store during Prohibition. The family still owns the building. That's Dr. Frank Christmalis. He still loves the place and stops in and remembers the days when his dad owned it as like a, soda fountain type thing.
My dad he was born in Greece, Thessaly. The town was called Rapsani. Came here in 1905, went to Kewanee, Illinois, worked in steel mills, went back to visit his mother, and while he was there, he was drafted into the Greek army. And he had to spend, I think, about three or 4 years in the Balkan War. It was probably 1914 when he came to Bloomington. He didn't go back to the steel mills. And then in about 1918, he was drafted in the American Army and spent time in Kentucky at Camp Campbell. He got his citizenship by being drafted in the American Army, although he had applied earlier for citizenship. And he was a member of the American Legion and was very proud of it, and nobody could say anything against the United States, not in his presence. This was the original Nick's on this side, and then he took over the other side eventually in portions. He took the back part first, and then he took the front part. So then it became a 24-foot building. First started as Ye Old English Hut. It was a confectionery, had the sandwiches and the soda fountain and soft drinks. And then in 1933, when Dad got a beer and wine license, he got the second one in Bloomington. The first one was the Regulator across from the Indiana Theater. And then I think at that time he named it Nick's English Hut. The original one was 12 feet wide, 60 feet long. And then there was a hut in the back. And then you could go into the left side, the west side of the building through a door and go into a bathroom and a stove. The front part of the building, the other 12 feet, was a haberdashery store and later cleaners. And Herman Wells supposedly worked in the haberdashery shop for a short time.
The first time I ever came to NIST, I don't remember the date or anything. So I was born in 25, so I was 12 and 37. So about 38 or 9, my father would pick me up from my Boy Scout meeting in the evening after dark from the First Presbyterian Church. And if he wasn't in a big hurry, we would stop here. My father would have a drink, and I'd sit at the bar, and we would, and there wasn't that, as I remember, there weren't that many people around. We would visit with Nick. So I do remember the original Nick Christmalis.
I was probably at Nick's in probably the late 30s, and so I went in quite often. Used to help around, used to clean, sweep, do whatever was necessary. He never had a liquor license. He always had beer and wine because he wanted to stress the restaurant part. He always said he didn't want any live music, no dancing, no noise, no singing, no cheering. And I remember people coming in with their books and reading, people coming in with pads of paper and comparing notes, having a beer and a sandwich, and that was it. He used the term, he wanted to be like a church.
It was a church.
That's what he wanted. And so he stressed that as much as possible. He loved the students. He wanted them to get their education. He didn't want them to overdrink. He asked them to go home quite often, I remember that.
He always had a cigar in his mouth. He'd go up the street to the bank. And of course his cigar was bubbled up down his, And they used to live right up the street from the Tivoli Theater, and he would walk down here and work.
He died March the 17th when Indiana won the NCAA basketball title in 1953. He died of lung cancer. But he was a smoker. He smoked when he was in Greece, when he was a kid. He grew tobacco and sold it. And so he smoked since he was just a kid. And of course, I'm sure that's what killed him. He was very, very gentle, very kind to everyone. And I don't know if he ever had an enemy. He may have, but I don't know of any.